Welcome to our deep dive. We're going to be looking at the BIM Heroes DAO, what it is, how it works, and most importantly, what's in it for you.
Yeah, great to be here. It's a really exciting time to be involved, I think, with DAOs in general, but especially this one. BIM Heroes is at the forefront of digital transformation in the AEC sector and really using BIM to create a more productive and safer built environment.
Right. And it's not just talk. We've been looking through these proposals. They seem to have thought of everything.
Yeah, and that's what makes this DAO so unique. These proposals, this whole strategy, it's all been developed and voted on by the community. So, it's really, truly decentralized.
Okay, so let's jump into Proposal 1, which lays out their vision, mission, and purpose.
Yeah, so they're aiming for a future where, the AEC sector really embraces digital transformation. And they're not just providing, tools and resources. They're creating a space for professionals to connect, to collaborate, to become leaders in this digital revolution. And, they're trying to foster a community of heroes who are passionate about innovation.
I love that community of heroes idea. And so they've structured the DAO around three main pillars to support that vision.
Yeah. So the community of practice, the body of knowledge, and then the marketplace network. And each of these pillars plays a really crucial role in, creating this thriving ecosystem.
So let's jump into the body of knowledge. Proposal 11 talks about this as kind of a repository of best practices and emerging trends and all that kind of thing. What kind of content can members expect to find in there?
So imagine having access to like a vast digital library filled with articles, research papers, case studies, templates, webinars, mentorship programs, just everything you need to kind of stay ahead of the curve in BIM and digital transformation.
Sounds amazing. So not just for learning the basics, but for continuing to develop your skills throughout your career.
Yeah, and it's constantly evolving as well. As new technologies emerge, new best practices are developed, the community keeps adding to the content, so it's always relevant.
So let's talk about the token model. I know this can be kind of a confusing concept for people who are new to DAOs, but Proposal 6 does a great job of breaking it down.
Yeah, and I think what's innovative about this model is that they're using tokens for more than just currency. It's identity, it's reputation, it's utility, it's even governance.
Okay, let's start with identity tokens. What are they?
So an identity token is kind of like your digital passport within the BIM Heroes DAO. It, verifies your membership. It allows you to control what information you share with others. So it's like a LinkedIn profile, but with, greater verification built in.
So it's like you're in control of how much information you share with the community.
Exactly. And then you've got reputation tokens, which are earned through contributing to the DAO. That could be sharing knowledge. It could be participating in discussions, mentoring, developing proposals, anything that brings value, really, to the DAO.
So it's not just about how much money you put in, it's about how much you're participating.
That's it. Yeah. So the more you contribute, the more your reputation grows. And that translates into greater influence within the DAO. And that influence becomes really important when we talk about governance because they use this hybrid quadratic voting system, which balances reputation and utility tokens to ensure fair decision making.
I think we need a deep dive within a deep dive here. What is hybrid quadratic voting?
It's actually pretty simple when you get down to it. So, in a traditional one token, one vote system, someone could theoretically just buy up loads of tokens and dominate the voting process, right? This prevents that by requiring both reputation tokens, which are earned through contribution, and then utility tokens to participate. And then it also uses this quadratic voting mechanism where the cost of your votes increases exponentially.
Oh, interesting. So the more tokens you want to use to vote, the more expensive each vote gets.
Exactly. So it really encourages thoughtful participation.
That's brilliant. Love it. So let's talk leadership. Proposal 4 outlines the elected leadership model, which I think is kind of fitting for a decentralized organization.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that they've put in, some safeguards to ensure that the people that are elected to lead actually have the skills and the experience to guide the DAO.
Right, because running a DAO is complicated. What kind of things have they got in place to ensure they've got the right people at the helm?
So first up, there's a pre-election screening. So candidates need to meet certain qualifications before they can even appear on the ballot.
So it's not just a popularity contest.
No, not at all. You need to demonstrate that you've got the knowledge and the experience to actually lead and to further support potential leaders, they actually provide educational resources and training programs.
So they're really setting them up for success.
Absolutely. And then, you've got regular reviews and feedback from the community. You've got term limits, rotations, all of that to prevent stagnation and ensure a flow of fresh ideas.
So it's a culture of transparency, accountability, continuous improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on to part two, I want to touch on one more thing. The LRAC.
Ah, yes, LRAC, the Ethics, Legal, and Risk Assessment Committee.
Yeah, LRAC. So what is LRAC? Who's on it? What do they do?
So LRAC is made up of trustees, a representative from the exec team, and then you've got a legal expert, internal and external. And their job is to really review proposals to make sure that they comply with the law, that they align with the ethical principles of the DAO, and that they're not going to expose the community to, unnecessary risks.
Okay, so they're kind of like the guardians of the DAO.
Yeah, exactly. They make sure everything is above board in the best interest of the community.
Awesome. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've looked at the vision and mission of BIM Heroes DAO. We've kind of gone over that token model, and we've looked at how they approach governance and leadership.
Yep, that's right. We've looked at the foundations, if you like.
And in the next part, we're going to shift our focus to the what's in it for me factor. What are the benefits for new members?
Yeah, I think that's what everybody wants to know, isn't it? We'll look at how you can get involved and even potentially earn within this ecosystem.
Stay tuned. So, welcome back to our deep dive into BIM Heroes DAO. In part one, we kind of went over the background, the structure of the DAO, how it works. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What's in it for you?
Well, I think one of the best things about this DAO is that it offers so many benefits, for such a wide range of interests, whether you're looking to learn new skills to grow your network or even, generate income.
Okay, let's jump in with that knowledge and skills element then. The body of knowledge, we talked about it briefly, but I think it deserves a bit more of a deep dive because it's not just a static library of information. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah, it really is. It's like having access to constantly updated best practices, emerging trends, insights from leading experts in the field. You could almost think of it as like a personalized mentorship program, always available.
And it's not just passively consuming information either, right? You can actually contribute to the body of knowledge, share your own expertise and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And in doing so, you're not only, helping to build up this sort of collective wisdom of the DAO, but you're also, solidifying your own understanding. You're building a reputation as an expert. And of course, you're earning those all-important reputation tokens.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Helping others, helping yourself. Okay, so let's move on to networking and collaboration. I mean, traditionally building a strong network in the AEC sector has been a long process, attending conferences, workshops, all that kind of thing. How does BIM Heroes kind of improve that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the community of practice is, that's really where the magic happens. It's this online hub where members can connect, they can engage in discussions, share their experiences, ask questions, collaborate on projects.
So like a 247 global conference.
Pretty much, yeah. And because it's focused specifically on BIM and digital transformation, you're connecting with people that share your passion, who understand the challenges and opportunities.
And those connections can lead to all sorts of things, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you might find a mentor, you might find a business partner, you might even find a new client,
It's about leveraging that collective intelligence, of this community to advance your career. Okay, so that brings us to career and business growth. So how does BIM Heroes kind of help in that area?
Well, the DAO provides a platform to showcase your skills, to build your reputation, attract new opportunities, those identity tokens that we talked about. They can actually act as like a digital portfolio that you can share.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's like a digital resume that's constantly being updated, and it's endorsed by the community.
Exactly. And the more you contribute, the more reputation tokens you earn, the more you engage with the marketplace network, your, visibility and credibility grow.
Okay, and the marketplace network. That sounds interesting. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's where AEC professionals can connect with service providers, vendors, potential collaborators.
So like if I was a freelance BIM specialist, I could kind of advertise myself on the marketplace network.
Yeah, exactly. You create a profile, you showcase your skills, your portfolio, your rates. Potential clients can find you, they can review your credentials, and they can reach out directly.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. Clients get access to this pool of talent, and members, get to grow their client base.
So it's about individual gain, but it's also about, having a say in how the AEC industry moves forward. It's about that governance structure.
That's right. So the way the DAO is structured means that members have a say in, the direction of the organization. Through this hybrid quadratic voting system, every voice is heard and decisions are made collectively.
Okay, so we've talked about all these amazing things, but what about the financials?
Yeah, so there are several ways that you can potentially make money, I guess, through BIM Heroes. So first up, you've got the potential for token appreciation. As the DAO grows, as the ecosystem expands, the value of those utility tokens could increase.
Yeah, early adopters could benefit.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not all about, token appreciation. You can actually earn utility tokens directly by, contributing to the body of knowledge, by providing mentoring or training services, even participating in paid projects through that marketplace network.
Oh, wow. So you're actively creating value.
That's it, yeah. This system really incentivizes participation and collaboration.
Brilliant. Okay, so one thing that I think a lot of people worry about when it comes to DAOs is the whole risk element. It could feel kind of risky, right? How does BIM Heroes mitigate that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a common concern, but they've got this thing called the minimum viable process, or MVP.
Okay.
And it's basically a framework that ensures that every proposal goes through a really thorough process before it's even presented to the community for a vote.
So it's not just like a free-for-all.
No, not at all. It's got to go through working groups, feedback from the community, assessment by LRAC, which is that Ethics, Legal, and Risk Assessment Committee that we talked about.
So there are checks and balances in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is transparency. BIM Heroes is really committed to operating in a very transparent way. All their documents, proposals, financial records, it's all accessible.
That makes people feel more secure, I think.
Yeah, it's all about trust, isn't it? Members have access to the information. They can make informed decisions. They can, hold the leadership accountable.
Okay, and what about the volatility of cryptocurrency? That's something that people worry about.
Yeah, that's true. But, the value of the utility token, it's tied to the success of the ecosystem. So as the DAO grows, as more services come online, the demand for the token should increase.
Okay, so it's a long-term vision.
Exactly.
Right. Well, in part 3, we're going to look at some more specific examples of how you, as a new member, can actually get involved. All right, welcome back. So we've talked about the structure, the BIM Heroes DAO, the token model, all that kind of thing. Now, let's get practical. How can you, as a new member, actually get involved?
Well, I think one of the great things about this DAO is that there are so many different ways to contribute, regardless of your experience level.
Okay, so let's start with the body of knowledge. We've talked about it a lot, but I think it's important to emphasize that it's not just a static thing. It's a living resource.
Yeah, for sure. If you've discovered a workaround for a problem in a BIM software, or you've completed a project that you think other people could learn from, you can share that in the body of knowledge.
And you get rewarded for that, right?
Yeah, you get those reputation tokens, which, boost your standing in the DAO.
Okay, so you're helping others, you're helping yourself. It's a win-win. What about the community of practice? How can people get involved there?
So the community of practice is all about, connection and discussion. It's, it's a place to ask questions, to get feedback, to share your experiences, to learn from others.
So it's kind of like a virtual water cooler for BIM geeks.
Yeah, pretty much. And, those conversations can lead to real world opportunities. You might find a mentor, you might find a collaborator, you might even find a client.
And then there's the marketplace network.
Right. So that's where, if you're a freelancer, if you're offering a service, you can create a profile, you can showcase your skills, your portfolio, and connect with clients.
So if I'm like a BIM modeler, I can find work through the marketplace network.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great way to build your business. And it's not just for freelancers. Companies can use it too to find clients, to promote their services.
So we've got those 3 main pillars, but there are other ways to get involved as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can join a working group, you can help develop new proposals, you can, even run for a leadership position.
So there's really something for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this DAO. It's dynamic, it's evolving.
So as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that BIM Heroes is more than just a platform. It's a community. It's people who are passionate about the future of the AEC industry.
It's about making a difference, not just for your own career, but for the built environment as a whole.
So if you're listening to this and you're interested, take that first step. Check out the website, join the community. There's so much potential here. And that's it for this deep dive into the BIM Heroes DAO. We hope you found it useful.
Yeah, thanks for listening.